Alright, so I just felt like making this video because it was Valentine's Day 2 days ago, and obviously I'm single and I don't have a date because I got no bitches and I'm a loser and all that good shit. But that doesn't matter. I'm gonna be giving you guys the reasons why being single is better than being in a relationship, personally, according to me. If y'all thought I wouldn't be making this video if I was in a relationship, yeah, you would be right. But I'm not, so here we are. Before I get into why I think being single is just better, I'm gonna tell you about why I am personally single and why I think dating just sucks, to be honest. And I feel like it's tough to make this video because it really depends where you're coming from. If you're somebody who's single by choice, then it's like, okay, like you probably know what you're talking about. But if you're like some incel who can't get no hoes and whoever you ask out always says no and you're just mad at the world, then obviously nobody's gonna listen to you because there's gonna be a lot of bias there. I am single by choice, but I'm not saying that I would never date anybody ever. It's just that I prefer not to. It just makes life a whole lot less complicated. But first off, if you need a big reason why dating just isn't really too appealing these days, especially in my generation, Gen Z, have you seen the dating scene? It is just people looking to fuel their own egos and OnlyFans girls, and just I feel like in the modern age love is just dead. It's just not like a thing anymore. Not for everybody, just for people around my age mainly. There are the select few that actually like they get into a relationship and they love each other with like no ulterior motives and it's all good and it's all fine and everything and everybody's happy. But the reality of the world today is that just simply isn't the situation for most people out there. We're just afraid of dating because we feel like nobody can be trusted and everybody is only out for themselves and we will never be truly loved by anybody else. Maybe that's just my depression talking, but don't tell anyone. I didn't take my meds today. You ever see those couples posts on Instagram, like whether it's Valentine's Day or any other day really, and they're always just like constantly posting each other? Like in the back of my mind, I sort of sometimes when I see that shit, I feel like they're always just spamming each other on their timelines for one or two reasons. Either because they actually genuinely love each other and they want to show each other off, or they just feel like they have to flex on everybody that they're in a relationship and they're doing good and they're doing fine and they are happy and better than you. I'm not saying it's everybody by any stretch. There are some people who literally just go into relationships just for fun or because they're bored. And that is basically one of the main things I try to avoid personally. Like, I'm not saying that I'm just gonna say no to every single relationship. I'm just saying that over the years, I've become an extremely skeptical person about kind of who I hang out with and who I kind of trust and be close to, because nobody wants a relationship for the actual relationship part anymore. They just want it because they feel like they have to have one. And let me be the first one to tell you, if you don't know already, you don't have to be in a relationship. Like, yes, it's good to like have someone you're close to and talk to and stuff like that, but you can just make friends and shit and talk to your family and other stuff like that. You don't have to have a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever you think you need to be like everybody else. Yeah, just keep that in mind. But if you're a loser with no friends like me, then I guess you're pretty screwed. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you. You should definitely try and focus more on yourself and like making yourself a better person and being like happier with yourself before going to like chase girls or chase boys or whatever, all this crap. But don't fall into the trap of just avoiding everybody because you feel like you are not a good enough person to be able to hang out or be close to this person you like or something like that, because that's the same trap that I fell in. Like, I personally, talking about me right now, never make any attempt to make friends at all anymore because I just feel like I'm not really good enough to be their friend or anything like that, because I'll probably just annoy them or they probably don't want to hang out with me. They have better things to do. Don't do that, man. At least give yourself a chance. Don't be like me, okay? Life lessons here. Sometimes it's not really just about you. Like, there is like a lot of outside factors that you just really don't have any control over, and like there's just nothing you can do about it. Talking about the dating scene again, like there probably is someone for you, but there's so much junk and crap you have to filter through to find somebody you actually like that it just doesn't feel worth it anymore. Like, even if you find somebody that you think you like, you never really know what they might do to you in the future, and it just makes everybody paranoid and on edge. And even if you get into an actual relationship, you're always like scared, thinking something bad is gonna happen. I'll just say being single is better until you feel like you've mentally matured enough to not go into relationships with that kind of mindset. because having that kind of mindset going into like whatever relationship is just gonna screw you over, and it's gonna make you feel like you always gotta watch your back, you know? And another reason why being single is better, because I feel like humans are automatically wired to try and like be who they're not to impress the people that they want to impress and people who they want to like them. Like, don't try and be like somebody else to get a date or to get a friend or anything like that. Like, not everybody is gonna like you, and that's okay. On the other hand, if you feel like you should be a certain way, like you actually want to try and grow and be a better person, you don't have to pretend to be that person. Just try your best to be that person. Like, take little steps at a time to try and be like, if you have a crush or something and you kind of know their type or what they might be into, and you just look at yourself and you just don't fit into that category, like, you can try and take little steps to be a better person. But with that is very risky, because I would suggest don't do it for the person. You should just be doing it for yourself, because that's the kind of person you think is likable, then it's just naturally gonna be the kind of person you want to be. So don't force yourself into positions that you're not ready for, basically. I haven't been in a relationship myself in about 2 years, I think, and to be honest, at first, like when it all came crashing down and it was over, like, yeah, I felt bad for like months and months afterwards, and I just felt like complete shit. Like, I felt like dog ass. Like, I just hated everything. I just didn't want to live, even more so than normal, which is saying something for me. And truth be told, heartbreak is never really something you really fully truly get over, at least from my experience. There's always going to be like an underlying pain and like regret of that whole situation, but at the same time, I feel like the more of that you go through, the more you like grow and change as a person. It's like character development in anime. Like, you just, instead of training up your muscles in your training arc, you're like training up your mind to be like prepared for anything and like have thicker skin, you know? But never let anybody tell you you're not good enough. Just because you may not be good enough to a particular person or a group of people doesn't mean you aren't enough for somebody else out there. So always keep in the back of your mind that you have some value to you that nobody else has, because you are you and nobody else is. And yeah, try not to think about the fact that socializing and dating in 2025 is an absolute nightmare, and everybody's suffering the same way you are, and nobody knows what to do, and everybody is lonely, except for the people who are actually in happy relationships. But yeah, last reason I feel like being single isn't that bad is because you get more like free time to focus on yourself and do your hobbies and just chill out, be zen, do what you want to do, and you don't have to focus on pleasing others and like doing whatever else and like being somebody else. You can just take your time to like relax and be you. A little isolation is good. Coming from a guy who literally spends 24 hours a day in his dark room talking to the voices in his head, I'm definitely saying, guys, don't worry, trust me, guys. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little app session. Please subscribe, like if you liked it, dislike if you didn't, and yeah, have a good day. Peace.